Hey friends, welcome back to Creatively Enhanced Podcast, the show where we empower visual artists to rise, create, and thrive in the business of art. I'm your host, Chantel, and today we are discussing a topic that I know many of you have questions about. How do you actually prepare for art gallery submissions? By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what you need to do to prepare and how to confidently submit your work. Whether you're brand new to the art scene or you've been creating for years, submitting to galleries both online and in person can feel like a big intimidating step. But I'm here to walk you through the process and share why this move could be a game changer for your art career. So let's get into it. Let's start with why this is important. Why do gallery submissions matter? Submitting your work to galleries is more than just seeking validation. There are 3 things submitting your work to galleries is about. Number 1, it's about visibility. Number 2, it's about credibility. And 3, your growth. And let's start with visibility. Getting your work into a gallery puts you in front of collectors, curators, art buyers, and other artists. It is one of the most powerful ways to expand your reach and build meaningful connections. When your art is accepted into a gallery, you're stepping into a space where people actively come to discover, appreciate, and invest in art. These aren't just passive scrollers on a feed. These are collectors, curators, art buyers, critics, and fellow creatives who are intentionally seeking out fresh voices and powerful visuals. Unlike social media, where your posts might get lost in the algorithm or only reach a fraction of your followers, gallery spaces are focused, curated environments. That means that your work is being presented in such a way that elevates its meaning. It's lit properly, purposely curated with other pieces, and often accompanied by your artist statement and bio, helping viewers to understand not just what you've created, but why you created it. Plus, galleries often have established audiences of loyal supporters. This means that these are the people who trust the gallery's curation. They're ready to make a purchase. They're ready to share your work and even commission new works. These are the kinds of opportunities that can lead to long-term relationships, repeat buyers and collectors, or invitations to larger exhibitions and collaborations. And it's not just about sales, but being in a gallery, it puts you in a conversation with other artists, giving you a chance to grow your network, exchange ideas, and feel a part of a larger creative community. This type of visibility and validation can open doors to you that you didn't even know existed. So when you submit your work, you're not just entering a show, you're opening the door to opportunities, connections, and experiences that truly elevate your art career. The next thing I want to discuss is the credibility. Being part of a curated exhibition isn't just a nice line to add to your artist bio, it's a stamp of legitimacy. It means your work has been handpicked by professionals that believe in the quality, the message, and the value of what you create. That kind of recognition instantly elevates how others view your work. So when a gallery selects your art, it sends a powerful message to potential buyers, collaborators, and institutions. They would say, this artist is serious, this work has been vetted, and this deserves a place in the conversation. That kind of credibility matters deeply when you're applying for art residencies, grants and funding opportunities, and also other gallery shows, especially solo exhibitions where your track record helps you build the trust. It also plays a role in pricing your work. Once you've been exhibited and established in juried spaces, you could begin justifying higher price points for your artwork, not just based on your time or materials, but on a perceived value and a professional standing. Beyond the paperwork and applications, there's also a confidence shift that happens when your work is chosen. It reminds you that your creative voice is worthy of being seen and celebrated. And that belief, which is the belief in yourself and in your art, is something that shines through in every conversation, every art pitch, every future opportunity that you will go after. I want you to remember this too, that every show that you're a part of, no matter how big or small, is a building block in your professional journey, and it adds to your story, it strengthens your platform, and it proves to the world in yourself that your art belongs there. And lastly, the ultimate evolution for artists is growth. Submitting your art to galleries is an act of professionalism. It is an act of personal growth. It pushes you beyond your comfort zone. It asks more of you as a creative It invites you to see your work not just as a passion project, but as part of a larger intentional journey. The process itself teaches you how to present your work professionally. That includes photographing your art in high quality, writing clear and compelling artist statements, putting together your artist bios, naming and pricing your pieces at the value it's worth, and organizing your submissions in such a way that represents you as a serious professional artist. These are the real-world foundational skills that every working artist needs, whether you're full-time, you're part-time, or it's just a hobby. The more that you submit, the more confident and polished you become in these areas. In addition, this challenges you to articulate your practice with purpose. When you apply to a gallery, you often need to explain your process, your themes, your why. This forces you to reflect on your creative vision and articulate it clearly. You begin to understand your own narrative after you do this for a while, your evolution, and how your body of work it fits into the larger conversation of who you are as an artist. Your work will begin to speak for you. Most importantly, it cultivates commitment. In the submission process, it reminds you that your art is more than just a hobby. It's part of a bigger mission. You're investing your time, your energy, your creativity. You're building momentum, you're developing resilience, and you're staying active and fresh in the trends of creativity. This is what makes you creatively enhanced. Every rejection becomes a lesson. Every acceptance becomes a milestone. Each step forward in your identity is building your identity as a working artist, not just someone who creates, but someone who shows up for their career, for their future, for their craft. Because growth, it's not just about getting into galleries, it's about who you become in the process. So before you submit, it's important to understand what galleries are looking for. Not every gallery is the same. Some focus on emerging artists, others only show mid-career or established artists. Some specialize in abstract, others in realism, photography, or mixed media. But here are some tips. Start by researching the gallery. What kind of work are they showing? Do they have specific themes or visions? Have they featured artists like you before? Look at their past exhibitions and read their artist statements. This step is crucial. Submitting to the wrong gallery is like pitching a country song, a rock and roll song to a gospel label. It just doesn't connect. Now let's talk about your artwork. This is a big one, okay? Listen very closely. Before you even think about submitting, your work should be consistent and ready to exhibit. The reason why consistency is important is because it is the key to long-term success. When you consistently create and submit your work, galleries, curators, and collectors begin to take notice of you. You're no longer just a one-time name or a random submission. You become familiar, an artist who's actively producing, showing up, applying, submitting, and evolving. That's the kind of reliability that builds credibility. It tells the world, I take my art seriously and I'm in this for the long haul. That doesn't mean that every piece has to look the same, but it should feel like it came from the same artist. Galleries love to see a cohesive body of work, and that's usually 5 to 10 strong pieces that reflect your style and your artistic voice. Make sure that your work is finished and presentable. Your painting should always be wired and ready to hang. This is especially important for online galleries. Works on paper should be framed or matted unless otherwise stated. Digital art and photography should be printed professionally if requested. Double check that your work is clean, undamaged, and labeled on the back. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about taking small, intentional steps towards your vision, even when you don't have all the answers. Because when you stay consistent, opportunities find you and your audience will grow. And your art career becomes not just possible, but sustainable. Where many artists get overwhelmed, it is the submission process, but I promise it's manageable. A typical submission process or application includes 1, your artist statement. This is a short paragraph, about 150 to 200 words about your artwork. An artist statement talks about your theme, inspiration, and medium. You got to keep it clear, keep it sincere, and this will be written in first person. The second thing, your artist bio. This is your background. This is your education, if applicable. This is the exhibitions, your awards, and this will be written in third person. Third is your resume or your CV. List your past exhibitions here. Group shows, solo shows, your features, and anything art related and experiences. The fourth thing that you'll submit is your high quality images of your work. Use natural lighting for your images, or professional scans. File names should include your name and the title of your piece. Include dimensions, the medium, the year created. Images should be cropped to the edges, no background. Sculptures, ceramics should be photographed in clean white or light backgrounds. Also, you may need to include a cover letter or an email introduction. This is a brief note explaining why you're submitting to that specific gallery, what you admire about them, what you're hoping to gain from this. Maybe you want representation, a group show, a solo show. Always follow submission guidelines. Some galleries want PDFs, some want submissions through websites like Submittable or Cafe. Never skip a requirement. It will cost you the opportunity if you skip these requirements. The last thing I want to go over before ending is understanding that not every person will like what they see. Here's the truth. I want you to hold this very close, that rejection is part of the process. You may not get accepted right away, and that is okay. Every no is preparation for the right yes. Adopt a mindset of persistence and professionalism. Don't take silence from a gallery or rejections personally. Stay organized. Keep a spreadsheet of your submissions, the deadlines, gallery contacts. Follow up if the guidelines allow. Send an email after the decision date. This will help build relationships and help you get understanding if needed. Also, keep creating. Your best work might not be made yet, and that's okay. If you have been told no multiple times in a row, and feeling defeated in the process of submission, reach out to a professional, a colleague, a friend. Contact the galleries for feedback on why you were not selected. Usually the galleries will respond and give feedback. Don't take it personal, however. If you struggle with the idea of rejection, ask yourself why. Sometimes healing from rejection is the very thing needed to help you overcome fear, the fear of success, delays, and stagnation. I want you to know that you are stronger than rejection. You are talented, you are one of a kind, and your art, your creativity, and your voice, it is needed in this world, so don't give up. You got this. Preparing for gallery submissions can feel overwhelming, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. This is your art career. Step into it with boldness, step into it with confidence. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with an artist friend or leave a review. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Creatively Enhanced Podcast and download my free guides on how to write an artist statement or the roadmap to building an art business. That will be linked in the show notes. All right, that wraps up today's episode on how to prepare for art gallery submissions. I hope this gave you insight, encouragement, and practical tips you need to start submitting with confidence. And remember, every submission is a step forward in your journey. Even if it's a no, it's still movement, it's still growth, you're evolving, and it's still showing you that you could show up for your art. Next week, we are diving into another artist convo with the incredibly talented Janna Blackburn from Maricopa, Arizona, and we'll be talking about growth and development as an artist, her journey from fluid art to expressionism, and how she learned to embrace feedback and turn it into fuel for her creative evolution. Trust me, it's a conversation you don't want to miss. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow artist who's ready to take the next step. And as always, keep creating with purpose, passion, and persistence. Stay creatively enhanced. Until next time.